Hey, all Irix guy here. Now I want to talk about the GoPro drone. Now, not to be confused with a drone that you can attach a GoPro to, because there's a lot of drones now that you can attach a GoPro to that drone. Various manufacturers, they have GoPro mounts. I'm talking about the GoPro drone that is created by the company GoPro, the same company that makes the GoPro cameras. Which features do you demand from the GoPro drone? Now, you may have seen my previous video jumping over to the DJI, where I was talking about my personal demands for the DJI Phantom 3, and they exceeded my demands. I requested that it have 4K or better, and obviously it does. And I also requested that it be the same form factor or very close to the existing Phantom series, so Phantom 2, Phantom 1. And they met that requirement. And then they even threw in the FPV, the 720p HD, which I didn't expect. So super stoked about the Phantom 3. And I've got the Phantom 3 Professional pre-ordered from snagbear.com. So I can't wait to receive that. But with that said, and I've been a GoPro person since the GoPro Hero 2. I never got in at the GoPro, the original GoPro level, because at that point in time, I didn't really understand the value of a GoPro. I was like, why do I want a camera that out of the box doesn't have a screen and it's small? Why do I want that? I never realized that the value within a GoPro was being able to attach it to anything and capture shots from a perspective that no other camera can do. And there are GoPro knockoffs out there, but GoPro is the action camera in my opinion. So since GoPro's the action camera, in my professional opinion, and possibly yours as well, I know there's competitors out there, and I'm not saying it's the only camera, but in my mind it's the best. And that's from thousands of hours of use, all the way from GoPro Hero 2, GoPro Hero 3, GoPro Hero 3 Plus, and now GoPro Hero 4 Black. So yeah, I've had my experience with it. And having such a great user experience with GoPro just makes me wonder, what are they going to do in the GoPro drone? And I don't want to just speculate. What I want to do is state my demands, being an avid GoPro user and fanboy, whatever you want to call me. I want to state my personal demands for the GoPro drone. Number one, it's got to come bundled with a camera, because I don't want to have to buy the drone and then buy a camera separately. So drone and camera must come in comfortably below $1,000 US, preferably more in the $500 range. Number two, it must have 4K or better. Number three, ideally, it would be a situation to where if it uses the GoPro, the standard GoPro, that it has a quick disconnect function. Because if you've dealt with a Phantom 2, for example, like the Irix Sky 4K Phantom 2, where I attached the GoPro Hero 4 Black, caught some absolutely awesome 4K aerial videos. I added my FPV and all that onto it. But from a user friendliness perspective, having to take those two screws off of the ZenMuse gimbal to take the GoPro out, if I'm using the GoPro for other applications, in a perfect world, someone that was using the Irix Sky 4K Phantom 2, they would own multiple GoPros. So they would keep one and they would just keep it dedicated to use with the Phantom 2. And then they would have a second GoPro that they use, for mounting to their head, scuba diving with, etc. But if the GoPro drone, if it uses just an off-the-shelf GoPro, whatever their current model is, GoPro Hero 5, let's just speculate, that's fine and dandy, but they need to have a quick disconnect option so that you can take it off the drone and then jump down in the water and go swimming with the same GoPro. In a perfect world, what I would like to see is a modular GoPro, meaning that it's specific for their GoPro branded drone. Modular from the perspective that, yeah, it's going to remain mated to that drone because that's its intended use. But a few months later or a year later, when GoPro comes out with newer GoPro drone camera technology, you can just pop it off and pop the latest GoPro on, not have to buy a new drone. So that would be perfect. And what I would like to see is that GoPro, and I'm going to just call it GoPro drone version. So this isn't your GoPro Hero 4 Black like you use now that you use for other purposes. This is a specially designed GoPro that's extra small and extra lightweight just for attaching to the GoPro drone. I would like to see that it receives its power from the master battery within GoPro. So you've only got one battery you've got to charge. You don't have to deal with charging the GoPro drone battery and then also the GoPro drone camera battery. You've just got one battery that you have to charge. What I think will be the kill-all, if they do this, and surely they will consider it, if GoPro integrates into the GoPro drone a 360-degree GoPro camera that is 4K, that is stabilized, not with software stabilization like Bebop used, because as we know, by looking at my videos and other videos, as we know, if you look at those videos and you compare a Bebop video that was filmed in 1080p versus a Phantom 2 Vision Plus video that was filmed in 1080p using a gimbal, there's no comparison. The video looks a lot better with a gimbal. And a lot of that has to do is that, well, it's gimbal stabilized, and when something's software stabilized, there is some degradation. The visual quality is degraded. So what I want to see with the GoPro, what would just be the kill-all in my opinion, would be a 360-degree GoPro camera mounted to the GoPro drone that is 4K and is not software stabilized. So it's got some sort of gimbal. So the effect is that you film these moments while you're flying the GoPro drone. But when you upload it to YouTube, it's in 4K, Ultra HD, and using a compatible browser like Chrome, while the drone is flying, you can pan around and look everywhere, just as if you were strapped to the bottom of that drone. So you're not limited to seeing only what the drone sees, what the camera's pointed at. Since this is 360, you're getting half a sphere. So, like take the planet Earth and cut it in half. You're seeing that down there, and you can just pan around as you're watching that video in 4K in real time. That's a game changer. Something else they need to have, that GoPro drone needs to have, is some sort of flight. And I know we've seen it in other drones, and this was something that you may have seen the announcement of the 3DR Solo, which is a new drone that actually at the time of posting this video, is it out yet? I don't know. I looked at the numbers for it, and for me the price just didn't make sense. But from a feature perspective, something on paper that looked good with the 3DR Solo was the ability for it to film while keeping the camera. So you would set a flight path, and then it would keep the camera pointed at whatever object. So it would be a way for it to fly, or for you to fly rather, and not have to worry with manipulating the camera too, because the camera is going to stay focused on whatever point, which is really cool. I'd like to see something like that in the GoPro drone. Obviously, the GoPro drone is going to have a high-definition first-person view. That's what the Phantom 3 has. It's got to have that too. I mean, you don't want to step back in time and be looking at a degraded display when you're flying in real time. You want that HD so you can see precisely what the camera sees when you're filming. And get all that, make sure you got all that detail in the shot. Battery life is important. Now, a lot of people criticize battery life that's 15 minutes or less. Honestly, I don't necessarily think that's a problem, because if you look at most of your YouTube videos are probably about 5 minutes in duration. So if you've got a drone with 15 minutes of flight time, you've easily got 2 opportunities to film that video. And then a few extra minutes, 5 or so minutes, to do another retake if you need to. So if it was a deal where you could get more batteries, smaller size, more portability, and maybe sacrifice 5 minutes or so of battery life, I think that would be a win. Ultimately, we'd like to see a smaller battery and even more flight time, but you can't have everything. I mean, design comes into play. And it's my main concern, not concern, but my main demands, because I feel confident with GoPro's execution. They have not executed with any product to date that I'm aware of that was bad. Every GoPro that I've dealt with has been great. So I feel that the GoPro drone will be a game changer. Now, they do have stiff competition with DJI, because without a doubt, the DJI Phantom series is the best drone on the market. And I know people have other opinions, but I would feel confident stating that the DJI Phantom is without a doubt the most recognized, the most popular, and the most proven to be reliable drone. You'll see some stories out there, it flew away and it crashed. Well, if you research those stories, you'll find out a lot of those people, they didn't properly use it, may not have updated their firmware, didn't set their home point, flying in an area with interference in the air, you name it. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. But I think that GoPro is going to take, number one, their camera technology that they're experts with, their small form factor camera technology. They're already the leader in that. They're going to take that and they're going to mesh that with their GoPro drone. And they're going to create an aerial platform that's just going to blow all of our minds. So these are my thoughts. This is what I would like to see in the GoPro drone. And according to what they put out in, I think it was late 2014, they said the GoPro drone is coming in 2015 calendar year. So what would you like to see in the GoPro drone? Because I want to know what your thoughts are. I mean, I consider myself to be a drone aficionado. So tell me what you think. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, youtube.com/iRixGuy, and share this video and any of my videos with others. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.